Good evening, and welcome along to the show. The sun is shining, so we decided to get ourselves out of the studio this week, and we've come along to the Lyric Theatre here in Belfast to celebrate their new season. Lots of great shows coming up this year. We'll tell you more about that in just a second. Also on the show tonight, I'll be chatting to football legend Gerry Armstrong about a big sporting event coming up on the 25th of June. Plus, we'll have new music from singer-songwriters Paul Casey A.N.J.A. But since we're here at the Lyric, the must-see theatre show at the moment is the Mary Jones play Stones in His Pockets. You've got to go and see it. Here's what happens at their opening press night.
I'm just grinning from ear to ear, like the best night ever back at the theatre.
It really is something for everyone.
The fact that the audience were on their feet for a standing ovation before the curtain call had even begun is a testament to how fabulous this production is.
It was, I think, one of the only productions I've seen where the audience got so engaged.
It was amazing. Like the actors, oh my, it was absolutely brilliant.
Gerard and Sean had massive shoes to fill, and by God, they did it.
I mean, I saw it 25 years ago when Colin Hill did it. I just was speaking to my mother about it, saying like how it has evolved but still has that essence.
The Irish dance, now come on.
It means everything. This is my hometown. This is my national theatre here in Northern Ireland.
Thank you for being amazing crack. Thank you for being loud. And thank you for being our extras.
Come and see Stones in His Pockets.
Come see Stones in His Pockets.
Okay, listen to me. Listen to me very carefully. Come and see Stones in His Pockets. It's a theatrical experience. If you don't, I will come for you. I will find you. And you know the rest.
So there we go, Stones in His Pockets, which is currently running at the Lyric Theatre at the moment. If you haven't got your tickets, you really have to, don't they, Clare? It's amazing.
Really, really is. The feedback on Stones has been out of this world, exceptional. So yes, we're very, very proud to have it here.
And I remember seeing it the first time around, and I can't believe this is showing my age now, 25 years ago.
Well, here, Robin, showing my age, I saw it then too, back in the Lyric. Now, I have very vague memories of it, but I did come and saw Conleth Hill, and he was here on the opening night of the Barn Theatre production, which is upstairs, and he loved it. He gave it its thumbs up.
Okay, turn over, speed, mark it, and action.
All starts with the cow.
I'll have the lemon meringue pie.
Then we see it from his point of view, and him just a wee book.
And cut!
It is completely enhanced with all of the technology and digital know-how that you would expect now for shows, because if you remember, the big thing about Stones, even when it went to Broadway and was nominated for a Tony, was it was literally a black stage with a couple of boots and a couple of the big kind of suitcase, fly cases, and now that is still there. So there's still that sense of it being really, really flexible, and the guys obviously take on so many different characters, so they have to be able to do that. But on top of that, there's this incredible digital production that goes on behind them, and a host of amazing celebrities who have celebrity cameos.
I know, because I knew that was going to happen. Yeah. And the whole way through the show, I'm going, when are these extras going to pop up? When are we going to see these cameos? And then at the end, you just go, wow. And you can hear the people in the audience going, oh, look, that's her from Gerry. Is that Liam Neeson? And
like, they got them all. They all said yes to that. It's amazing.
That's
absolutely
amazing. We've got to mention the cast as well, because people probably would have seen Sean Blaney last year in the Gerry Conlon show as well. He's in it. And Gerard McCabe, the two of them are just fabulous on stage, aren't they?
Oh, they are. They're absolutely electric, the two of them together. So Sean, yes, he's bringing In the Name of the Sun back actually to the Opera House in a couple of weeks, and he was nominated for that production in the Lyric with the recent Irish Time Theatre Awards for Best Actor. A wonderful actor. He's been around for years. It's just wonderful to see him play on stage. And Gerard, well, sure, Gerard is a stalwart of this industry, as we know, and he is pure charm personified, and the two of them together, it's just absolutely roaring night.
And we have to mention Matthew McElhenney as well, of course, is the son of Mary Jones and Ian McElhenney. He's on directing duties and again did a fabulous job, didn't he?
He did, he really did. So he stars in it as well. I don't know if you noticed
I
that
noticed
too.
that,
He also has a cameo before. Isn't it wonderful though? Like you have so much crack at this play. Now it's also the themes are, you know, quite dark as well.
They are, yeah.
It really hits. There was a
Yeah.
few people crying around
Yeah.
me. You know, it definitely cuts right through to the heart. But it's just, you can see that they have had so much fun
Yeah.
making this
They
show.
have.
And Matthew directs it to within an inch. It's impeccable.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's move on from Stones to what else is happening, because there's lots going on and lots this summer as well, isn't there?
Well, there is. So last week we launched our new season, which typically is our autumn-winter season. What's coming up in the autumn, because September's always traditionally the big month for coming back to the theatre. But actually, we've had to put in an extra bit into the season because we have this huge jam-packed summer happening before the autumn season even happens. So a number of things. Obviously, Stones is playing at the minute, as you've said, but we have a couple of really, really interesting shows coming here. Some for a couple of nights as a tryout for Edinburgh Fringe and then heading off to Edinburgh. Some which are here for, you know, a full week or a couple of weeks. So British Music Theatre is bringing Bread Boy back. So I say back, they had Paperboy here for a couple of years. This is the
Tony
wonderful
Macaulay's life story, really,
yes,
isn't
his
it?
memoir.
Yeah.
And Tony has worked alongside Duke Special to do the music for this. So this is a wonderful platform for young people, but also in itself a great show. So Bread Boy will be playing here at the end of July. We also have St Mungo's The Ladies.
Right.
So
I know this. It was a Grimes and McKee thing for years, wasn't it?
Exactly. So it's the same format.
Yeah.
It's St Mungo's Gaelic Football Club, but they've now got a ladies team. So they've actually partnered up with Caroline Curran, who herself is just a brilliantly comic actress.
And who you'd all know as Maggie Muff, really, won't they?
They will indeed. But it's an absolute genius pairing, really, for Connor, Alan and Caroline. And she's leading the ladies team at St Mungo's, so you can imagine the hilarity that ensues.
Yes. Now, Clare, I believe we've got a special clip coming up now from the new St Mungo show, haven't we?
Yes. So Caroline, Connor and Alan give us a wee sneak snippet into the show last week at the launch.
I am very proud to stand here and say we have a Lady St Mungo's team.
Oh.
So what that means is we need players. Yep, that's right, of all abilities and all ages. I'm looking at you, big lad. Yep, you look like you can stand at the back of watches. From the ages of 16 to 30. We also need coaches, physios, backroom staff.
Hey, kit mom.
Kit woman.
That's you out.
Right. We'll be training on a Tuesday and Thursday from 7:30 to 9 o'clock. So please check the club WhatsApp for all the details. I can't wait to get started. And now that we've dragged St Mungo's into the 21st century. So thank you and up the women! Yes.
Is that you finished?
That's me now.
Can I carry on now?
Yes, off you go.
Right, okay, so
Hang on 1 minute.
We're going to make a draw. We're
Never
making a
mind the draw.
What?
First I have heard of a women's team in St Mungo's.
We'll discuss that at the next committee
We'll
meeting.
not discuss it in any committee meeting. It's a bit of big news and I don't know nothing about it. We'll discuss it right here, right now.
We're way over there where people can't hear us. Go on. You. Right, what's your problem?
When did the swimming team come about?
The swimming team.
Excellent. So what else have we got to look forward to then?
So we have Michael Cameron, if you remember, was here with Ruby just before.
I love that show, and Libby in it as well. Brilliant,
was.
brilliant.
And I think the last time we did this interview was just around that time that he was putting it on, or had just put it on at the
Yes,
Lyric at the start of 2020. So Michael is back with a new play, Carson and the Lady, which again has had a number of sort of outdoor tryouts over lockdown, and is a really beautiful piece. So that will be playing for a week in August. We also have Muldoon's Picnic. So Paul Muldoon will be coming with a host of celebrity guests to the main stage at the Lyric. And we have a great, some really, really brilliant topical, hilarious new writing. So Shedding of Skin is playing at the minute. Two Fingers Up is a great piece. I know you're going to have the team in a
Yeah,
couple of
of
weeks
course,
to talk
yeah.
about that. Absolutely brilliant. And Paul Curry, who is the sort of madcap genius who is putting on his show, The Chorus of Ghosts Living in My Skull.
Brilliant, okay. We look forward to all that. We're going to take a look at some new writing a little bit later on. Paddy Keelty's also coming back, isn't he?
Paddy Keelty is coming back. So Paddy was here at the start of the year, and it was an out-and-out kind of sellout, really, straight away. And I have to say, I was always going to go, of course, as Paddy Keelty, but I think I assumed what I would go to see. You know, it'd be really funny, and it's actually not only really funny and properly, cheeks really, really sore, but really clever.
It's more than a stand-up show, isn't it?
It really is. And he's a really intelligent writer and he's a brilliant performer.
Well, I remember seeing him in A Night in November as well, which he was brilliant in.
Of course, indeed, yes, absolutely. And he's back home now, so I know he's now living close to home. I think he's in London, but it's just great. It's brilliant to have him back, and it's wonderful to have him in the building as well. He's great to work with.
So Claire, moving on to something else now. Tell us about David Ireland's new play.
This is coming in October. So David Ireland, we all know, a friend of the Lyric and a really great supporter, was one of our artists in residence for a while. He, if you remember seeing Cypress Avenue, which featured Gerry Adams and was a very black comedy and absolutely brilliant. This is a brand new play by David's called Yes, So I Said Yes, and it doesn't feature Gerry, it features Stephen Nolan. So you can only imagine what that will be. That'll be a fantastic play coming. It's coming from the Finborough Theatre.
Right.
So we are hosting it here at the Lyric, and we're thrilled that David is coming back.
Brilliant. Okay, what else have we got then?
Our Naughton Studio, which is a wonderful space, really, really experimental. Can be a kind of every configuration and allows writers and producers really to just go to town in there. And it's a new play by Paul McVeigh called Big Man. And that will happen in October through to November as part of the Belfast International.
And I know people are starting to talk about that already. I've seen lots of stuff on social media about that. So it's going to sell quickly, that one, isn't it?
It is. Well, Paul is a really acclaimed writer. So I guess, he has been writing and he's a novelist. And that's kind of his background now. But as he said last week during the launch, actually he started writing plays. So he's going back again to a format, a genre that he hasn't done in a long time, but he has this whole big writing community and fan base coming with him. So yes, that'll be a wonderful piece.
Okay, we're going to look ahead to Christmas already, aren't we?
I know. Well, as you know, Christmas is a really special time at the Lyric. So it's usually the first time or the only time our audiences ever come to the theatre. And if they come, that is the one special moment. So we are very much about making it a magical experience for families, but also for those who want to come and have a really good time. So we have tons going on as usual. The Snow Queen, a beautiful new family musical spectacular by Paul Boyd. Obviously we've worked with him for the last couple of years, and really they have been just growing and growing every single year. That's going to be absolutely beautiful.
And there's always a festive Grimes and McKee somewhere, isn't there?
The kings of Christmas. what can we say? It feels as if it just would be a gap without them. So yes, they will come and bring some of their Christmas hilarity and a little bit of chaos to their Christmas cracker this year. So one certainly for the evenings, and there'll be selected performances throughout Christmas for that. And then we also are using our Naughton Studio because last year we had Pigeon and Plums cabaret in there, and it was such a success. So backed by very popular demand, Pigeon and Plum will also be performing a number of selected dates over Christmas as well.
We've got so much to look forward to. We really have, haven't we?
I know. It's great. We're so proud of it. We're so proud of the programme. But also, we're just so grateful as well that our audiences have been coming back. We're getting full houses in Stones. We had been for Translations there, which is our co-production of the Abbey Theatre just recently. And it's wonderful. It's great. It's wonderful to see everybody coming back and really embracing the magic of live theatre.
And you've still got Jimmy Fay looking after things here?
We have indeed. sure it wouldn't be the same without him.
Brilliant. Well, Clare, good to talk to you as always. Thank you
too.
so much.
Thanks, Robin.
Okay, let's move on from a theatre to sport now, and there's going to be a massive sporting event coming up at the Europa Hotel here in Belfast on the 25th of June. Footballing legend Gerry Armstrong is the man behind it, and here's what happened when I caught up with Gerry at Windsor Park this week. Now, Saturday the 25th of June marks the 40th anniversary since Northern Ireland's famous World Cup victory over the host nation Spain, which earned the team a place in the quarter-finals. There's going to be a special event lined up at the Europa Hotel on the 25th of June. We're here at Windsor Park for the launch, and I'll be chatting to Gerry Armstrong all about the event and, of course, about that famous winning goal. Taking you back to 1982,
yeah.
What's your memories of the big night in Spain then?
I was here working at base. I was doing breakfast at downtown at the time, and I was also doing a World Cup diary, daily reports on the games. And I watched the Spain-Northern Ireland game in Valencia in a friend of mine, Alistair Donnelly's house, and his wife had done a spread of food, and it was sitting, and we're watching the game, and whenever Gerry scored, I've no memory of this, but I jumped out of the seat and landed in the middle of the food. A bit messy, but you forgave me, you know. What a night. But it's amazing to think that here's Gerry, who very few people, sportsmen or otherwise, can say, this is the moment that changed my life. Gerry Armstrong, that was the moment that changed his life, and what a career he went on to have as a player from there, playing in Spain, playing around the world, and then into broadcasting. And he's had a huge career in broadcasting as one of the supreme analysts on the game. And he's, when you think about it, he's been doing that longer than he played.
So Gerry, we got that famous picture behind you on the mural there of that night in 1982. What's your memories of the night?
Well, it was a big game. Obviously, we knew we had to beat the Israelis to qualify for the World Cup, and we didn't create too many chances, but we got an early goal, and it was a set play, I remember well, that had never worked before. You know, for a couple of years we tried it, and that day it was a crossover and the ball to the far post, and I blocked off Billy Hamilton's man, and he headed the ball down to me and just fell kindly on my left foot, and I hit it on the volley in the back of the net. So that turned out to be the winning goal, and the goal that qualified us for the '82 World Cup.
And what was it like working with that team back then? Was there good, camaraderie between all the players?
It wasn't good, it was absolutely brilliant. We had a ball, we loved meeting up, and the crack was always good. We had lots of characters in the squad with Derek Spence and Jimmy Nicholl, and it was fun times. Sammy Nelson was very funny as well. But we always went about our business well, and we did what we had to do, got the results, which is always important. You get the results, and suddenly you find out that you've qualified for a World Cup finals, which is amazing from a professional footballer's point of view. That's what we all want to do.
And what was it like coming back to Belfast after that? What was the welcome home like?
The welcome home was incredible, because not many people give us a chance of even scoring a goal or getting a point, but to go and beat the host nation Spain, to qualify top of the group, to go to the quarter-finals and play Austria and then France, it was amazing, I have to say. So that was fantastic for us.
So tell us about this big night then that's coming up in the Europa. Can you believe, first of all, that it's 40 years?
I can't believe it's 40 years, but 40 years has flown in. We haven't been together as a group for 15 years, I think it is now. The last time we did it was 25 years ago. I think that was at the Europa as well. So, it's about time now, and we really need to make a big night of it and have a lot of fun. So we want all the fans to be there. We want to have a bit of a celebration and enjoy that special occasion.
And I believe there's a special whiskey involved as well.
There is. It's Spirit of '82 is the whiskey, which will be there for for them to sample on the tables that night, and sure they can give us their opinion of what they think of it.
It's a historic event that we're very, very proud to be a part of, and look forward to working with Gerry for many years to come, and launching the whisky brand and going forward with the food trucks and that. Funnily enough, it's Gerry's 40th anniversary and it's our 5th anniversary coming up now in August, so we thought it would tie on very well. We started the business, myself and my uncle, 5 years ago, and now we've got 10 plus staff and we've just moved on to new offices, so everything's happening at the right time, it seems, and working along with Gerry I think will take us to the next level as well.
So I know for yourselves and for the fans as well, it's going to be a pretty special night, but it's also going to be, I would imagine, a very sad night, because sadly we lost Billy Bingham recently, didn't we?
Yeah, he was the boss. He was the man that run the show, and he gave us all the advice, and he built the team and took us to the British Championships in 1980, and then we went off to Australia and played in Australia, and were undefeated in Australia, came back, qualified for the World Cup, then won the British Championships again in 1984. Should have qualified for the Euros, beating Germany home and away, and then another World Cup in '86. So, I mean, his legacy is incredible. I don't think anybody will get close to what he's done.
Yeah, I mean, you've said it recently, he was the greatest Northern Ireland manager.
Without a shadow of a doubt. He was a very smart cookie, and he knew how to play to our strengths, and he knew how to build a team as well. He was great for the team talks and getting you fired up before you went out onto the pitch. You know, that was his specialty. But, you know, we've only fond memories of Billy, and it's sad that he's gone, but, you know, he will leave a legacy behind him.
And on the night, you're going to be raising some money for a dementia charity as well. Eh?
That's our chosen charity, Northern Ireland Dementia, and it's obviously because of Billy, and we've got players. You know, we've got a couple of players who've been fall foul with the dementia as well. So, you know, I think it's really important that we do that.
And of course, you couldn't do a night like that without the sponsors as well, could you?
Sponsors is fantastic. SmartPay have come on board, and they've been brilliant. We've got Mark here today, and thanks to John and Jackie and all their work, and we're going to be associated with them for time to come, for years to come, and I'm looking forward to it.
What do you make of the Northern Ireland team today then?
They're still in transition, and we still haven't got our first win in this Euro League, and I think that'll happen. It will happen, but you've got to be patient, give them a chance, and I'm looking forward to the games in September, October, when we will get our first result.
And can we get back to the successful days that you had back in '82?
Oh, you have to believe that. You know, we've got some good young players coming through. We've got half decent under 21 side that, you know, has to keep improving all the time. But a small country, though, it's always going to be a lot more difficult. And I think some of the other countries, I look at what France has got in Spain and the development they have there, it's incredible. But I believe we can do.
Last time we spoke, you were just about to release the book. I believe it's going really well.
Book's gone well, particularly in Northern Ireland. I'm looking to get it more global, and hopefully that'll be sorted in the next couple of days, Robin. But I'm very pleased with it. I've had a very good response. Even Martin O'Neill phoned me to say, Armstrong, your book's brilliant. So I was happy with that as well.
So if people want to come along and join you then at the Europa Hotel on the 25th, who's all going to be there on the night?
Well, there's going to be the Jimmy Nichols and, of course, the Pat Jennings, the John McClellan, the David McCreary, and their partners, their wives. They're all coming over. You know, Sammy Nelson's coming over. We've got myself and Billy Hamilton, who are the resident strikers, who'll be there. But we've got the John O'Neill and Felix Heath. Most of the squad, we've got about 14 or 15 out of the squad. Unfortunately, Norman can't be there that night. He's away for a month's holiday in sunny Spain. You know, I wish I was with him now, to be honest, at the moment, but he's taken himself off. But most of the players will be there on the night.
And what were you guys like back in the day? Was there lots of partying and stuff going on?
There was lots of fun. You know, we didn't party that much. Billy was very good with us, and after the game in Spain, I remember he allowed us to go and have a drink, and we'd have a couple of beers. You know, but sure, we couldn't get near the bar with the press. The press were always 3 deep in front of us, you know. But we had a fantastic camaraderie, and we always partied together and had a lot of fun, and that's part of the spirit. You know, that's what you need if you're going to have a team that's going to go and do what we did.
So 25th of June is going to be a very special night for you guys, but of course also for the fans who are coming along as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a night for celebration. It's a night for celebration for the fans, and I've already spoken to a lot of the Northern Ireland supporters clubs, and we've got quite a few of them who are looking to get tickets, and that'll be on Ticket Source is where it's going to be.
Gerry, the best of luck with the event.
Thanks very much, Robin. Thank you.
So we're still here at the Lyric Theatre. We're going to find out about a new writing project which is happening here very shortly. But before that, let's have some brand new music. And here is the new single from Paul Casey. This is called How Come?
Shitters in schools. How come our leaders break the rules? How come? How come there's billionaires in space? How come their taxes have no trace? How come the stupid get to rule? How come I feel like I'm the film?
Okay, we're going to hear about some new writing and a new writing programme here at the Lyric Theatre from Rebecca Mairs. And then we'll find out about a new show that's due to hit the stage later this year as well. Rebecca, first of all, thank you for joining us. So tell us about your new writing programme here at the Lyric. How did all this come about?
Okay, so we've just launched our brand new programme from June to December 2022, and the focus for the next few months is all about new writing. New writers and new work for the stages, which is like a really integral part of what we do. So I'm the literary manager here at the Lyric, which means that I work with writers, theatre makers, artists to make new work, to make new plays for the stages here. And I also do a lot of like talent development, encouraging kind of new writers to come through, and mid-career writers and more experienced writers as well, because new work doesn't mean necessarily new writers.
Yes, yeah.
Everything started as a new play.
Brilliant. Okay, now one play that must have caught your imagination was The Gap Year.
Yeah.
Do you remember reading that for the first time?
Yeah, absolutely. Like it was kind of ironic because it's a play about a journey, and it's been on quite the journey. If I can be really trite for a second, I kind of started like way back. I think in 2018, wasn't it, Clare? I think it was. Clare responded to Fish Amble's call, who are a Dublin-based new writing theatre company. And we partnered with them on a big project called Play for Ireland, which was a huge provocation to writers to write, what is your big Play for Ireland? So Clare was one of the 350, 60, 70 something writers who responded to that. So we had 30 writers over in Ireland that we, Fish Amble and several theatres developed. Clare was one of the lyric writers, and then after that we were so impressed with the play that she wrote for that she then was one of our new playwrights in 2019. And then we developed on that. We loved it. It was a public showcase. It went down an absolute treat. And then we did an audio version over the pandemic whenever people were really wanting to hear new stories, but we weren't able to stage them kind of physically here. So we did an audio version of that, and it also went to New York. So it's been on quite a developmental and physical journey, and we are so thrilled it's come home and it's now going to be on our main stage.
Excellent. So Clare, what does it mean to you to have your play on stage here at the Lyric then?
Oh, it's everything, yeah. It's a dream come true, as the saying goes, but this is definitely my home theatre, my home place. I remember being brought here with my school, with Fort William. My drama teacher brought me here first to see a play. And so to get my play on the stage is just wonderful. And it's a lovely progression to my first play was in the Naughton Theatre. Benjamin and I brought it there, Shakespeare's Women. And so 5 years later, here we are on the main stage with The Gap Year. So it's just been brilliant. I'm so excited.
Brilliant. So we're all dying to know, Benjamin, what's The Gap Year all about now? Tell us the story.
Well, Clare might be better equipped to tell you, but I'll do my best. So The Gap Year, in its simplest form, is about 3 women in their 60s taking a gap year around Ireland, leaving behind their all of those kind of duties that they've built up over the years, leaving behind their worries and really trying to rediscover themselves and build a new identity for themselves now that they've kind of moved past they're into being grandmothers or they're entering that kind of stage of life where your job isn't necessarily the main thing anymore. And they go on this big trip. They meet a plethora of wonderful and weird characters, I suppose, along the way, and it just kind of helps them to find themselves and to do all of those things that some of us maybe did when we were 18, not before school, but at that stage of their 60s, it's a joyful piece. It's full of heart. It's got the best of comedy and emotional kind of truth in it as well. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
And the best of acting talent as well, because my good friend Carol Moore's in it, isn't she?
Yes.
She is indeed.
Yes, Carol was with part of the development process with it. So the Lyric and the New Playwrights programme, part of the development is giving you a room of actors to test out the script and explore it. So Carol and Libby Huntley were both part of that process, and now they're going to take on the roles and do it for real this time. So I'm very excited to have them, as well as Marion O'Dwyer, an actress I've long admired, joining them as the third woman. So they're gonna give those women the outing they deserve.
Brilliant. It's good to see older actors getting a chance still to go out and do it and star in their own show as well, isn't it?
Yeah, we have such a talent of actors here in Northern Ireland, and obviously, I've grown up seeing Carol and Libby in shows and Marion down in Dublin as well. So for me, it's really important to give voices to characters that I see in my everyday life reflected on the stage. And this play is definitely a sort of love to all those women that all those mummies and aunts and grannies and godmothers and mummies' friends who here in Ireland and Northern Ireland have carried us all and got us through our lives. They deserve to have their stories main stage centre in the spotlight.
And for people who know you and people in your family, when they come to watch this show, will they recognise people in this?
No, I mean, I think it would be a dream for my family to go on a gap year around Ireland in a van. Definitely one of my mother's and aunt's dreams. They'd love it. But I mean, you write from what you know, but you also, being a writer, I think lets me have the freedom to explore the unknown as well. And a lot of this play is about that identity and that chance of you're never too old to start again. And I think after the sort of few years we've had, it's a story of hope, which I'm delighted, having written it in 2018, that it hopefully now it'll lift us all and lift the audiences here in the Lyric to give us a chance of right. We've all gone through a bit of a grieving stage with life for the last few years. And so we can put some hope and heart onto the stage, and hopefully people get something from it.
What about the whole writing process for you? Did you start writing at a young age? How did it all happen?
Oh, well, I'm trained as an actor, firstly, but I wrote my first play for 2017, Shakespeare's Women. But now that I think about it, now that I've gone more and more into writing, I was always a writer. I just never had the confidence to be a writer. It was easier being an actor for me. So when I was at drama school, I wrote stuff that we performed, and when I was at school, I wrote stuff that we performed, but I always came through it from the actor's point of view. And then when Ben and I started working in the company together, Ben was definitely a big supporter and advocate for me to explore my writing and push that part of my dream. And because we made shows together, it felt less scary than, oh, I'm a fancy playwright, you know. So yeah, I went and did the masters in the Lear in playwriting. Brilliant drama school at Trinity College, the Lear Academy, and they're wonderful. I trained in London, but I think having that training here on the island of Ireland is really useful too, because whilst I got a wonderful training over in Central, I do think the actors who go down to Dublin get a warmer training for us, you know. Being the only, I was 19 and I was the only person from outside of, you know, England, and we had Welsh. It was very intimidating, whereas I think at 19 going down to Dublin to drama school would give you a lot more. They're very good in the Lear. They're wonderful.
Yeah. Ben, what about your directing background? How did all that come about?
I mean, I guess a little bit like Clare, I started out as an actor as well, and I sort of fell into directing. I saw a gap of shows that I wanted to see that nobody seemed to be making, so I started making and then discovered that I was quite good at it. Yeah. And then a little bit similar to Clare, started looking back through, you know, childhood memories and being like, oh, I was a director the whole time. You know, and that's probably why I wasn't that great an actor as well. So I was quite happy to leave the acting behind, and then we started a company in 2014 called Commedia of Errors, and we sort of haven't really looked back since. And you know, the more time goes on, the less I want to be an actor, and the happier I am being a director.
And what about when you're faced with people like Libby and Carol who've watched on the stage all those years? Is it a bit daunting to go in and direct those guys?
I mean, you know, there was a certain moment where, you know, you meet these people again and you're like, my goodness, you know, I've got a 15-year history with them. They've never met me before, but I have this big history that I have to overcome. But as soon as you start working together, you know, you've got this common language because we all work in the same industry, and people all operate the same way, no matter what stage of your career you're at. You need the same things. And as a director, it's my job to give those people those things. And you know, we very quickly have built a rapport, and we very quickly built a language that we can work together with. And I think, you know, the play as well, it speaks to everybody. So, you know, while those the situations and the moments might be entirely specific to three women in their 60s, somehow there's a universality to it that I can understand as well and I can relate to, and so we have this kind of common bond that goes through it that helps us all kind of work together communally.
Brilliant. Okay, we're all dying to know, when can we get the chance to see it then?
So it's on in September. I think it opens on the 3rd of September and it runs more or less the whole month. And it's on the main stage at the Lyric, and it's going to be fabulous.
We look forward to that, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, time for some more brand new music, and singer-songwriter Anya is back with a new track. This is called A-Bomb.
Everyone
Now, there really is so much great stuff coming soon to the Lyric. We're going to find out about a couple of musicals now, which is coming soon, and I'm pleased to say Rebecca Mairs is back with us. Rebecca, thank you for joining us again. We're going to talk musicals this time, and Conor Mitchell is a name that a lot of people will recognise here in Northern Ireland, and if they don't, they really should know him, shouldn't they?
Yeah, he's an actual genius. He is like an internationally renowned, award-winning composer and director, primarily of opera and kind of chamber music. And he's most recently Abomination, which is a verbatim piece that was played at the Lyric and at the Abbey. It won the Irish Times Best Opera Award. So he's known for that. But he's really returning to his first love, which is musical theatre, and this, and especially kind of the 1940s, 50s American big band jazz sound.
Wow.
So it's pure entertainment. But because it's Conor, there's a twist, there's some darkness, there's a bit of intrigue to it. It's not just straightforward.
So tell us about this show then. What's it called first of all, and how long did it take to get the development up and running and actually get it ready for the Lyric?
So it's called Propaganda, and it's a new musical. And it's actually a really good example of how long it takes to get new work sometimes to the stage, and how much development and support artists need to get the work ready to put in front of an audience, especially if it's musical or larger scale pieces.
Yeah.
So I think Conor, I think I'm correct whenever I say Conor was the first commission whenever I started at the Lyric in 2016. It was one of the very first meetings I had. And that's how long it's been in development. It's been in development for about 6 or 7 years, and it's finally coming to the stage because that's what it needs. It needed time, it needed space to develop and grow. It's a piece that is set in the 1950s, but like all work, there's a universality to it, and because of the political context in the 1950s, it is bizarre and actually quite terrifying how much that's speaking to what's happening right now. So it's a very, very timely piece of work, and I think people are going to respond to it in terms of the entertainment value, because it is a musical. It's there to be enjoyed, but there's an underlying sort of connection with what's going on politically.
And of course, there has to be an orchestra involved as well, and I believe you're going to try to fit a big orchestra into the Lyric, aren't you?
Yep, it's a big band sound, so we need a big band for that. I'm not quite sure of the actual numbers, but we're hoping to honour the work by having kind of that lush, full sound. And also have the musicians hopefully kind of on stage for them to be seen and be part of the work.
And I know one of the last things Conor did was in the Belfast Telegraph building, where he had a massive orchestra at that event as well, didn't he?
Yeah, that was a collaboration with the Ulster Orchestra, and it was in the Belfast Telegraph building, and it was an absolutely mammoth, overwhelming event that used lots of projection as well. And it was wonderful and very, very emotional. So he kind of has many strings to his bow, makes lots of different kinds of work.
And it's not too many people who can say they've been nominated for an Ivor Novello Award as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brilliant. Okay, so moving on to something closer to Christmas. Surely it's too early to be talking about Christmas.
No! Well, with this weather, it's probably not too far away, unfortunately. But we're working again with the absolutely brilliant Paul Boyd. Paul Boyd is an absolutely wonderful composer and director who has been working with the Lyric for a very long time. I think this is his, I want to say, 4th or 5th musical at Christmas in a row with us. He really knows how to write for family audiences and create work that is just beautiful and magical. He creates magic on stage, and it's exactly what people want to see at Christmas time. So he's doing a brand new adaptation of The Snow Queen for us, which I've just read the first draft of, and I'm very excited about.
Brilliant.
It is kind of taking the really well-known traditional story and updating it, and I can't say much more about it. But it truly is magical, and it also is like really, exciting for me in terms of it's a really kind of female-led story, I'm really excited for people to see it.
So if people are planning for Christmas, are tickets on sale now for that?
Absolutely, yeah. Brilliant. Get them while they're hot.
Great stuff. Rebecca, thank you again.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. So that's nearly all we have time for on the show this week. Got to say a big thank you to all of our guests here at the Lyric Theatre, and to check out their full programme of events, go to the website lyrictheatre.co.uk. Now, before I leave you, I'm going to tell you about something big happening at the Grand Opera House this coming Tuesday, the 28th of June, and Action Ability Belfast are back with a new show called Viva Las Belfast. It's got an Elvis theme to it. Jim Brown is in the show. I'll be in it as well, and here's a little look behind the scenes at Viva Las Belfast.
The name of the show is Viva Las Belfast. It's all about Elvis wannabes and the music of Elvis Presley.
I think the story is pretty good. It's really funny. We have a lot of interesting characters as well.
My character is Selfish Presley.
My character in the show is a bit bossy.
Every show they've done has just got better and better. The more experience that they've got, that we're able to perform on the biggest stage. And for people with a disability to be able to get the opportunity to show their talents is a testament to the cast themselves. The cast are absolutely unbelievable.
You'll be laughing all night long as well. And you know what? This guy's in it as well.
This is all purely Elvis, Robert. It has to be. It's Viva Las Belfast.
This is my first show.
My heart beats like a drum.
Come see the show, start to show me.
Boom, 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 boom.
We come together and brainstorm ideas back and forth from each other. Whatever we find funniest goes in.
I'm so excited because the Viva Las Belfast factory people will have a really great night, a great laugh, hear some great Elvis songs, and they'll really be up and dancing in the aisles of the Opera House here.
So that's a new production from Action Ability Belfast, Viva Las Belfast. There's just a few tickets left, and of course that happens this coming Tuesday. That's all we have time for on the show tonight. I'll see you back here same time next week. Bye-bye.